On the map of Europe, Estonia is easy to miss. A small nation of just over 1.3 million people, resting quietly between the Baltic Sea and the vast presence of Russia. No dramatic borders, no loud reputation, no urgent need to be noticed. And yet, those who pause feel something unusual. Estonia does not introduce itself with noise. It invites curiosity through silence. The streets feel restrained, almost deliberate. Conversations are softer, movements slower. People seem comfortable existing without explanation. This is a country where nearly 60% of women are single, not because of imbalance or isolation, but because independence here is not a rebellion. It is normal. From the outside, this statistic sparks curiosity. Questions form quickly. Why do so many women choose to live alone? What kind of society allows even supports that choice? The answers are not shouted. They are lived. Estonia values personal space the way other cultures value status. Privacy is not distance. It is respect. People are not cold. They are contained. They do not rush to impress, because they are not seeking validation. This quiet confidence shapes everything. Daily routines are simple. Morning coffee is a ritual, not a habit. Weekends are spent with a few close friends, not large circles. Life unfolds inward, not outward. For visitors, this can feel mysterious, even unsettling at first. There are no grand gestures demanding attention, no exaggerated friendliness, no urgency to entertain. But stay longer, and the mystery deepens. Estonia begins to reveal itself not through words, but through rhythm, through pauses, through what is intentionally left unsaid. It is a place where people choose solitude without loneliness, where independence does not mean isolation, where beauty exists without performance. Estonia does not ask to be understood quickly, it waits. And for those willing to slow down, this small, quiet nation offers something rare in the modern world, a sense of depth that can only be discovered, never advertised. In the north of Estonia, the capital city of Tallinn rises quietly from the Baltic coastline, not with glass skyscrapers, not with crowds or spectacle, but with stone. Tallinn feels less like a modern capital, and more like a medieval manuscript that was never closed. Thick limestone walls still encircle the old city. Pointed towers pierce the northern sky. Cobblestone streets curve gently, as if shaped by centuries of footsteps rather than urban planning. Walking here feels cinematic, but not dramatic. There is no rush to impress. Unlike cities such as Prague or Vienna, Tallinn does not compete for attention. It does not overwhelm with ornament or scale. Instead, it offers space, silence, and time. The heart of the city, Town Hall Square, opens like a calm breath. Medieval merchant houses stand shoulder to shoulder, their pastel facades softened by age and northern light. Cafes do not spill loudly into the streets. Voices stay low. Movement remains measured. Even the wind seems to respect the city's rhythm. Tallinn's beauty is not frozen in the past. It is alive, but restrained. Locals move through the old town as if it were an extension of their memory, not a stage set for visitors. There is dignity in that. At dusk, warm yellow lights glow against cold stone. Shadows stretch along narrow alleys. The city feels intimate, almost private, as if it allows only those who slow down to truly see it. This stillness is deeply Baltic. A calm shaped by long winters, by history lived under foreign rule, by a culture that learned endurance rather than display. Tallinn does not ask to be admired. It waits to be felt. And for those who walk its streets without hurry, the reward is rare. A sense of standing inside history, not as a spectator, but as a quiet guest. In a city that has learned the power of remaining still, while the world rushes past. In Estonia, life does not announce itself loudly. It unfolds quietly, deliberately, almost cautiously. The Estonian way of living is shaped by restraint, not lack. Here, people do not rush to fill silence. They respect it. Mornings often begin the same way. A cup of coffee or tea, held slowly, eyes looking out the window rather than at a phone. No dramatic conversations. No urgency to perform productivity. This rhythm is not accidental, it is cultural. Estonians value order, but not control. Privacy, but not isolation. They understand that personal space is not distance, but respect. On the streets, people walk with purpose, yet without tension. Voices are low, gestures are minimal. Every movement seems measured, as if wasting energy were a form of disrespect, to oneself and to others. Social life exists, but it is selective. Instead of large gatherings, friendships are built in small circles. A quiet cafe on the weekend, a long conversation with one trusted friend, Shared silence is not awkward here, it is meaningful. Estonians do not overshare. They observe first, listen longer than they speak, and when they speak, their words carry weight. This creates a society that feels calm, almost meditative. Rules are followed not because of fear, but because order makes life smoother. Public spaces are clean. Cues are respected. Boundaries are clear. There is comfort in knowing what is expected and what will not be crossed. To outsiders, this lifestyle may seem distant, even cold, but beneath that surface lies something rare, a quiet trust in systems, in people, in time. Estonians do not chase happiness. They create conditions where peace can exist, where life does not overwhelm the senses, where meaning is found in consistency, not intensity. In a world obsessed with speed and noise, Estonia offers something different, a reminder that living slowly is not falling behind. It is choosing depth over display, and for those who learn to move at its pace, this quiet society reveals its greatest strength: stability, clarity, and a calm that lingers long after you leave. In Estonia, beauty rarely asks to be noticed. It appears quietly, almost unintentionally. Estonian women carry a Northern European elegance that feels cool, restrained, and sharply defined. Tall silhouettes, clear eyes, minimal makeup, clothing chosen for function before display. But what truly sets them apart is not appearance, it is choice. From a young age, independence is not encouraged, it is expected. Many Estonian women are financially self-reliant. They invest in education, skills, and long-term stability. Careers in technology, design, finance, and creative industries are common, and success is worn lightly, without announcement. In daily life, they move with confidence, but never demand attention. They value personal space, they guard their time, and they are comfortable being alone. This is why a large number of women in Estonia choose to live independently, not because of loneliness, but because freedom matters. Living alone here is not a social failure. It is a statement of self-sufficiency. Relationships, when they happen, are deliberate. Rushed romance holds little appeal. Trust is built slowly. Respect is non-negotiable. In conversations, Estonian women are direct, but never careless. They listen carefully. They speak when they mean something. This creates an aura that many outsiders find mysterious, a beauty that feels distant, yet deeply magnetic. At night, especially in cities like Tallinn, their presence becomes more striking. Minimalist outfits transform into sharp, confident silhouettes. Not loud, not provocative, just assured. There is no performance here. No need to impress. What you see is alignment between inner life and outward expression. Culturally, this independence is rooted in history. Centuries of survival taught resilience. Modern systems gave women the tools to stand on their own. And so today, Estonian women choose their paths carefully. Marriage is optional. Motherhood is a decision, not a deadline. Freedom is not delayed for approval. In a world where beauty is often separated from strength, Estonia offers a different image. Here, beauty walks quietly beside self-respect, and choice is the most powerful form of elegance. In Estonia, history does not shout. It stands quietly, built into stone, wood, and silence. For centuries, this small nation lived under the rule of others. Danish, German, Swedish, Russian. Empires came and went, yet Estonia remained. That endurance is written into its architecture. On a limestone hill above the capital rises Toompea Castle, not grand in excess, not decorative for admiration, but firm, grounded, unyielding. Beside it stands Herman Tower, where the Estonian flag flies every morning. A simple ritual, a quiet declaration. This tower has watched centuries of occupation. It has seen flags replaced, languages erased, and identities tested. Yet today, it carries only one symbol, and that matters. Below the hill, Tallinn unfolds like a living archive. Cobblestone streets, medieval walls, merchant houses resting on gray stone foundations. But Estonia's story is not only told in castles, it lives in wooden houses, painted in soft pastels, built low against the cold, designed for survival, not display. These homes speak of restraint, of harmony with nature, of a culture that values warmth over spectacle. Even Soviet-era buildings, once symbols of control, now stand as reminders rather than wounds. They are not erased, they are understood. This approach defines Estonia's relationship with its past. Nothing is hidden, nothing is exaggerated. Memory is preserved with discipline. Architecture here does not seek to impress visitors, It seeks to protect identity. Every wall, every beam, every tower tells the same story quietly. A nation does not need size to endure. It does not need noise to survive. Estonia proves that resilience can be modest, that strength can be subtle, and that a people, no matter how small, do not disappear, as long as they remember who they are. This is not a museum country. It is a living memory. When night falls in Tallinn, nothing explodes, nothing rushes, nothing demands attention. Instead, the city lowers its voice. The medieval streets glow under warm yellow lights. Stone walls hold the day's silence, and behind heavy wooden doors, Tallinn's nightlife begins quietly. This is not a city of neon chaos, not a place of shouting crowds or endless queues. Here, night belongs to those who observe. Small bars open inside old cellars, low ceilings, rough stone walls, soft electronic music, played just loud enough to feel, never loud enough to interrupt conversation. People sit close, but not crowded. They speak slowly. They listen carefully. Craft beer replaces flashy cocktails, locally brewed, minimalist, honest in flavor. In Tallinn, nightlife reflects culture, controlled, intentional, respectful of space. The heart of this creative energy beats in Teleskivi Creative City, once an industrial zone, now a living canvas, graffiti-covered walls, art studios, independent galleries, design shops and underground venues. At night, Teleskivi feels alive, but never overwhelming. Music drifts through open courtyards, electronic, experimental, sometimes melancholic. Artists, designers, and young professionals gather, not to escape life, but to reflect on it. Bars here close early compared to Berlin or Prague. Clubs are few, and those that stay open past midnight remain intimate and restrained. This is nightlife with boundaries, and those boundaries are respected. Estonian women move through these spaces with confidence, independent, reserved, always in control. There is no pressure to perform, no need to impress. Night in Tallinn is about presence, not display. For visitors, this can feel mysterious, almost hidden. But for those who slow down, who listen instead of chase, Tallinn's nightlife reveals something rare. A city that chooses meaning over noise, connection over chaos, and depth over distraction. This is not nightlife for everyone. It is nightlife for thinkers, for observers, for those who understand that sometimes the most powerful moments happen when the world stays quiet. In Estonia, nature is not a backdrop, it is a presence. More than half of the land is covered by forests. Pine trees rise quietly, birch trunks glow pale in the fog, cold streams cut through moss and stone, moving slowly, patiently, as if time itself has learned to breathe here. In the early morning, mist settles low. Forests disappear into layers of gray and silver. Sound fades. Even footsteps feel intrusive. This is the landscape that shaped the Estonian spirit. People here do not try to conquer nature. They live beside it. They enter it with respect and leave without a trace. Walking through these woods, there are no signs shouting for attention, no fences claiming ownership, only narrow paths formed by years of quiet passage. Estonians believe nature does not belong to anyone. It simply exists, and humans are guests. The Baltic coastline tells the same story. Along the edge of the Baltic Sea, the water is dark and calm. Not bright, not dramatic, but honest. Waves arrive without urgency. The wind carries a cold clarity that clears the mind as much as the air. Here, people come not to escape life, but to understand it. Fishing villages remain modest. Wooden houses face the sea quietly, as they have for generations. No grand gestures, no illusions of control. Harsh winters test patience. Short summers reward endurance. This rhythm teaches discipline without words. Children grow up learning that comfort is temporary, but resilience lasts. Nature becomes a teacher, silent, unforgiving, fair. Those who rush feel lost. Those who slow down begin to see. In Estonia, healing does not come from luxury. It comes from stillness, from standing alone in a forest, listening to nothing but wind and breath, from watching fog lift slowly from a frozen bog, from realizing that peace does not need explanation. This is why the Estonian soul feels restrained, yet unbreakable. Because when a nation learns to live with nature, instead of above it, strength grows quietly. And sometimes, the deepest wisdom is spoken without sound. In Estonia, cities are not just places to live, they are statements. Each one speaks a different language of history, identity, and survival. In the south, Tartu moves quietly toward the future. This is a city of ideas, of libraries, lecture halls, and long conversations that unfold slowly. Life here is orderly, reflective, and deliberate. The rhythm is calm. People think before they speak. They plan before they act. Tartu does not chase attention. It invests in knowledge. Students walk tree-lined streets with purpose. Cafes feel like extensions of classrooms. The city looks westward, toward Europe, toward integration, toward a future built on education and trust. Then there is Narva, only a river wide, yet worlds apart. Narva stands at the edge of Estonia, facing Russia directly. Here, history feels heavier. Architecture is rigid. Memories of the Soviet era remain visible, not as nostalgia, but as reality. Politics is not abstract in Narva. It is personal. Jobs, language, loyalty, identity, everything feels closer to the surface. Life moves slower here, not because of peace, but because of caution. Narva does not dream loudly. It survives attentively. Between these two cities, Estonia reveals its true strength. This is a nation that understands the rules of the world. It does not rely on emotion. It does not gamble with ideology. Instead, it observes, calculates, chooses carefully. Small countries cannot afford mistakes. Estonia knows this. Its diplomacy is quiet. Its alliances are strategic. Its silence is intentional. In a world driven by power, noise, and spectacle, Estonia chooses restraint, not because it is weak, but because it understands something deeper. That survival belongs to those who listen more than they speak, who move precisely, and who know when silence is the strongest position of all. Estonia is not built for the impatient. It is not designed for the loud. It is a country for those who read between lines, who respect borders, and who understand that the quietest nations often last the longest. Estonia is not a country you rush through. It is a place you listen to. If this journey helped you see the world a little deeper, leave a comment with one thing that surprised you most. Your perspective might help someone else understand Estonia better. Subscribe for more stories that go beyond the surface, and share this video with someone who loves quiet places with strong souls. The world is bigger than the headlines, and the most meaningful places are often the quietest.